There Will Be Expletives. I'm Jeff.
I'm Ron, and you almost said Nerdy Pathetic Casual.
I was thinking about it. We've been recording the games first for so long that it's just kind of throw me off. So, okay. This past weekend, I had so much glorious free time over my 3-day weekend to watch 8 movies.
Good lord.
And then starting yesterday, it's like TV show apocalypse. So all of my free time is just immediately fucking gone. Because you're more caught up than me. You watched, did you watch Agent Carter 2 yet?
I watched the first half of the 2-hour premiere. That was all I had time for.
And I haven't even gotten to watch Flash yet, so tomorrow night is going to be
Flash.
Like a whole... And S.H.I.E.L.D. is back too? Or is that...
I think that's coming up.
That's after Agent Carter.
That's after Carter.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So...
it's nuts. And then back in April, Game of Thrones comes back.
Along with Daredevil, right?
Yeah, and then they're throwing all of Daredevil at me. So, like, the next, 2 or 3 months, it's just nothing but TV shows.
Tomorrow is Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, I cannot be more excited for Legends of Tomorrow, so that's another fucking hour of my life that I have to give to CW every week. But yeah, we are going to full on, and I mean it this time, Slightning Round, because last week's ended up being like an hour and a half after I said Slightning Round, I think.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I've said Slightning Round for the last 3 hour-and-a-half podcasts that we've done.
Something like that, yeah.
But I mean it.
Our Slightning Rounds are longer than the typical podcast.
Slightning Round is go. We are going to be spending legitimate time on only 2 or 3 of these. So, first up, Star Wars Episode 8, delayed. You can't see this, but there are tears running down Jeff's face. Actually, this was always kind of in the back of my mind, because it always seemed incredibly optimistic for them to have a Star Wars movie out after 18 months.
Yeah.
Because it was slated May 26, 2017, which would have been a year and a half.
It was weird to me it wasn't around the holiday season to begin with.
That's also... they're kind of saying shooting delays because some of the actors...
The delay in shootings then get into the holiday season.
Some of it might actually be an intentional strategic maneuver because they just made all of the money around the holidays. So.
What? There was the number I saw today, 1.88 billion worldwide. And
still trucking.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it has moved to December 15th of 2017. So, yeah. And they're also doing another version of the script. It's Rian Johnson, the Looper dude. Actually, I don't know who else is helping him, but he is unlike... was JJ actually credited as a writer, or was he just directing?
I want to say he was credited as a writer.
Maybe for
IMDb
story,
now.
but not screenplay. That's usually how they...
Something like that. I've got it pulled up here. Let's see. It has Lawrence Kasdan and J.J. Abrams written by...
Okay. I think this one is actually going to be... Oh, okay. Yeah, because they had Michael Arndt. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Something like that.
I think JJ helped them with the story, and those two guys kind of, went and did the whole screenplay. Yeah. I get the impression this episode 8, he's more involved with the screenplay.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously... he wrote and directed Looper, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So he has more of a writer mentality. I just can't wait for it because it's obviously well known that my favorite is Empire Strikes Back. With picking him for this I think is going to be such the Empire of this new trilogy. Actually, I don't know if you heard, John Boyega said the script is 10 times darker.
Yeah, I read that.
Which I can't wait. I think it's going to be really, really good because they've shown they're really going out of their way to pattern it like the originals. They have the first movie be kind of light, fluffy. The second one is the dark one, and they go back, and then they have the Teddy Bear Army incoming for the third one. So, I am down for this. It's a bummer it's delayed, but I can wait 6 months. Shit, we waited 10 years in between episode 3 and 7 for a Star Wars movie. Yeah, so yeah, I'm obviously excited still. It's a bit of a bummer. Next up, another one I'm really excited for that came out of freaking nowhere, courtesy of J.J. Abrams being J.J.
Yes.
You remember
which
that...
I love and hate about him, by the way.
You remember that... I'm sure at some point we've complained about that Michael Bay 13 Hours movie and how much it's obvious how much we loathe Michael Bay at this point. His 13 Hours movie, which was hilarious, premiered, I think it was last Friday.
Thursday night, yeah.
And when it premiered, all anyone was talking about was one of the trailers that went in front of it, and that was 10 Cloverfield Lane, which if you have not watched the trailer is pretty freaking good. It's very, very claustrophobic. It feels a little bit John Carpenter-esque.
Yeah, I would agree with
intense, maybe not as much action, but it's very tense as far as like the dialogue between everybody. Very, very atmospheric trailer for sure. So we really don't know if this is a direct sequel, if this is maybe happening, directly after Cloverfield, if it's a spin-off,
or if it's during.
If it's during, like, we really have no idea, and I love that about it.
I think it'd be really cool if it was during.
You don't know anything about it other than when they premiere the title of the film, they pop up Cloverfield by itself first, which me and Ron both pointed out when we watched it before the show is a very, very cool touch.
Yes.
Starring John Goodman and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I think is more.
Bravo. I know her face, but I can never remember her name.
Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim is her most famous role. She's done other bits of. That's her most famous.
She was Bruce Willis's daughter in Live Free or Die Hard.
So good cast. JJ is producing it. I'm really, really, really excited for it. Have they had no? It comes out in March, doesn't it? I think it's like March 18th or something like that. It's very, very
March 11th.
March 11th. It's very, very soon, which was surprising to me. Only freaking JJ. And what's also funny is part of the reason this was able to be kept a secret was because it was being produced at his studio while they had Star Wars security. Yes. So that was the ultimate. So
he completely blanketed the entire movie with Star Wars, more or less. So people went in to watch 13 Hours and just, what? Cloverfield? And he made an entire movie in secret.
I love the some of the tweets because when people were going to screen 13 Hours, this was like I remember because when I first saw it, I saw it on Twitter. Cloverfield. It's like, the fuck? There's a Cloverfield sequel. And then, I don't know if it was screen grabbed off of Twitter or if it was actually some of the linked tweets from the hashtag that I saw. People were like, so I'm watching that Michael Bay movie, and apparently there's a Cloverfield sequel. I think I saw a Cloverfield sequel. Everyone was confused, and I love that about JJ. It was just completely awesome, so go watch the trailer. Sometime in March, I think you're thinking it was 11th.
I want to say 11th. It was 11th. I'll fact check that since we're not usually
you and I both totally love the first one, and neither one of us are big found footage movies. So if you haven't seen
March 11th,
if you haven't seen Cloverfield, go give it a watch. All right, we're gonna move on to the next thing in our notes. And next up is we actually are updating last week's story, which we totally fucking called. High five.
Yes.
So we have. I guess we've now dubbed him Bipolar George Dredd. I guess that's what we're calling George Miller now. He was quoted. And I do the biggest quotey fingers of all time, as saying he was done with Mad Max, which is very odd because you and I talked about it last time. He was, like, I want to do 5 more of these and a Furiosa prequel and blah, 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 blah. Like
Mad Max, Mad Max. Sunday.
And then all of a sudden he was just like, nope, I'm done.
Yep.
Filming out there, it was kind of hot. Fuck that. I'm not doing that again.
Derp. Nope.
And then the very next day, which I think we said, we were like, tomorrow this could be changed.
Yeah.
And then the next day, like 10 a.m., I was like, Ron, it's coming back. Thank God.
So he's back on board with Mad Max, apparently.
He said, and this is like one of the things I hate about the internet and how the people report stuff now. He was interviewed during a red carpet event. Where you can barely hear, there's 1,000 people walking around talking, and they quoted him as saying he was done with Mad Max because he was talking about his next movie won't be Mad Max.
Really?
Yeah, that was what George Miller was saying, and he was like, that whole interview was nonsense, I think was his quote, or garbage, something like that.
So, you mean to tell me that the internet, which is generally very reputable, took something out of context and just ran.
No. Wasn't the internet's fault. It was the reporter.
The reporter did a half-assed. Because usually when people, I thought they had a big story.
They turned it into one. I think it was, and it worked because it blew up all over Twitter, all over everywhere.
Well, yeah, it did. Fury Road was like everybody's 1 or 2 favorite movie.
Yes, everyone. The Oscars have it as one of the best picture nominations, which is absolutely unheard of for a genre action movie. That like the plot is we're gonna go from here to there. That's the plot of Mad Max Fury Road. So yeah, he had a fucking bullshit half of a conversation with the reporter on the red carpet, and they turned it into clickbait by saying he's done.
Wow.
Yeah, so fuck that reporter, and I didn't even bother to look up their name, because fuck them, and we're not going to give them any press.
Exactly.
All right, next up in the movie news, we are starting
probably Jeff's favorite article of the week.
Oh, it is so good. So, you might have heard about this little movie called Deadpool, Ron.
What? What is that?
It's probably going to be fucking amazing, and it's already, like, in my brain, I can easily see next year, when we're doing in January our top 5 list, it being my number 1. Like, I can easily see this, because this is just such Jeff crack. And the reason it's Jeff crack is why it is banned in China. And I'm going to read the /film quote. So, the Chinese government has decided to ban Deadpool from being screened and viewed, and they have just basically shut it out of the country, period, which is unfortunate for all of them. But the quote on /film is really funny, because they wrote, the Chinese government has apparently deemed it impossible to cut the offensive material without creating problems with understanding the plot.
So you cut the offensive material out and the whole movie's gone.
Which means Deadpool is fucking good, dude.
As my dad used to say, rated R, well, that stands for really good.
Yeah. Have you also seen the petitions for people trying to get it PG-13? Are you aware of this? Someone started a petition to make Deadpool PG-13, and it's actually getting a little bit of traction. It's like, dude,
why?
Because they're fucking. You know who started it? Idiotic fucking parents who have no idea what they're taking their kids to, and it's the same stupid ass parents who took their 7-year-old kids to Watchmen because it was a superhero movie. Like, dude,
do some research.
Do a little fucking homework before you take your 7-year-old to a movie. You know,
you don't even have to Google it. Just go to IMDb and type in the name. You'll know everything you need to know about the rating info.
Yeah, like you can tell when you watch the Deadpool trailers. It is obviously adult.
Yeah,
and it is obviously intended that way for a reason. The character only works.
Even the Green Band trailers are incredibly violent.
They're not
incredibly gory.
They're edgy too. They have it's just fucking it's idiotic. But yeah, I love that. I think Deadpool's gonna be amazing.
Well, see, now I get all the memes like Kevin Smith was posting and stuff
about the PG-13 thing. Yeah,
about a petition.
About the petition.
Yeah, I didn't know that existed. I couldn't imagine that would be a thing. Because if you're gonna do it PG-13, there's no point in making the fucking movie.
My friend, I think it was someone on my Facebook was basically saying like, yeah, why don't we go ahead, Fight Club needs to be PG-13, Saving Private Ryan, let's make that PG-13, you know, all of these things, let's just make them all fucking PG-13. The fucking world is so annoyingly politically correct.
Yeah.
It makes me want to rip my eyeballs out. It is so annoying, dude. Like, how many superhero movies are PG-13? It's not like we're saying, oh, the whole MCU now is rated R for life and no kids can ever go back. It's one movie.
Yeah. Shut
the fuck up and let us have R-rated Deadpool. Like, but yeah, seriously, we're moving on with this article before I fucking pop a blood vessel. We got, from here on out, for the most part, it's all DC news. So we're transitioning away from Marvel, starting off with Justice League versus Teen Titans, which, they're crazy. They're almost kind of JJ about these animated movies. Like, one just came out this week for streaming and VOD. I think it was Bad Blood, one of the new Batman ones. Had no clue it was even a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of remember Philip talking to me about it at some point. Had completely forgotten about it. And now they're apparently in production with Justice League versus Teen Titans, and
that title alone sells me.
The cast list brings back all the people from the most recent batch. It's the same Batman who's been in all the new ones, and it was in Justice League War. They've kind of kept that continuity going as kind of their little cinematic universe they've done now. Because if you remember, Justice League War was actually kind of a sequel to Flashpoint Paradox, because that was what broke into New 52 in the comic, so it worked perfectly for them to do that. So they brought back all the cast. One of the ones I really, really like is, I don't know if you've watched any of the more recent ones with him, but River's brother in Firefly, I think his name is Sean Mauer. He has been Nightwing for the past few movies, and he is my favorite Nightwing they've ever done. I love his Nightwing. He does it really, really well. He does that kind of like he's kind of like, you know how Neil Patrick Harris was a cool Nightwing,
Yeah.
but in the back of your mind he's always Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah.
Like I kind of forget that about that guy, and he is Nightwing to me. So I've really liked his portrayal. Damien's voice actor is back.
I could almost see him as like a live action Nightwing.
He looks
too.
a little bit like him too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and the biggest notable addition was there will be Expedition's fan favorite John frickin' Bernthal is the villain. He is playing Trigon, who is apparently Raven's dad.
Yes.
And was that ever a character in the Teen Titans cartoon?
Yes.
See,
there was an episode where they basically went to his like domain.
Oh, really?
Which was a nice way of saying they went to hell, and he was basically the devil.
Ron Perlman was Deathstroke in the Teen Titans cartoon.
Really?
That is badass. I want to I've been meaning to go back and watch all of that Teen Titans cartoon, not the Go one, not the not the little fucking kiddie one.
It can go fuck itself. Is what
but
it can do.
That first one, and it wasn't like that's probably the only DC animated thing that doesn't have anything to do with the Bruce Timm group. You know, that was his own little thing.
Yeah.
That's been like that and Young Justice. Like they both knocked those out of the park. I need to go back and find. Do they have Teen Titans on DVD? Surely they do.
Surely.
I would like to get a complete set of that Teen Titans show because that was really, really cool.
And typically I don't like stuff like that since it was all basically kids and it was supposed to be kids watching kids do things, and typically I'm not into that, but it was really well done.
Had a great Dick Grayson moment too. This one I had forgotten about until Phil mentioned it to me a while back. But they have one where do you remember the Deathstroke episodes at all in the Teen Titans cartoon?
Not at all. That's why I've forgotten Ron Perlman was even involved.
He's basically trying to recruit Dick Grayson as like his protege. And he's trying to kind of manipulate him as saying, like, I'll be a father figure to you. And then Dick Grayson has a line where he's like, I already have a father. And then they cut away. It's like the end of the episode. And you see bats in the background. Like, really, really cool little touch.
Right.
So that show was awesome. If you haven't watched the Teen Titans cartoon, don't watch the fucking Go one. Make sure you're watching the actual one. Go watch it. Good stuff. We're going to continue on the Justice League trend. And this whole CW special, I think they had a name of it, but I can't remember what they called it. But they were dropping shit left and right, Warner Brothers.
Anything to keep you from watching Agent Carter, they were dropping.
Yeah, I love, they have a little like Sony Microsoft thing going right now where they're so...
And what I have still never understood about that, it's the same people watching everything. They're going to go watch on the internet later, or they're like me and they just DVR'd it all and can watch it later at any given time.
But I still love it. I love it. It
too.
makes me happy.
It's adorable they think they're competing with each other, though.
It's like they have to be the big boy in the news.
Yeah.
And they can't hack it if they're not. That's why we were saying earlier, next week, they're going to, like, right now, they're putting together a Doctor Strange trailer just because of all of this DC noise they've made. Like, something has to pop up. But one of their big ones they revealed was the actual Justice League concept art, which obviously we've seen the Trinity so far, and we had that one really early Jason Momoa shot as Aquaman, but this is the first time you've kind of seen their Justice League together. It looks pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
I like the first ones they've shown. I mean, the first time you've seen a couple of them are Cyborg and their version of the Flash.
Yeah.
Which we'll start with Cyborg. I really, really like the touch on it. Like, it looks very, very
Terminator-ish almost.
It looks kind of Terminator-ish. It looks a lot like his design in Justice League War, and the current animated ones is very, very similar to that look. Very, very cool.
He's not big and bulky. He's kind of slender.
Their Flash looks. The one that made me think of. Did you ever play? What was their like Mortal Kombat type game? You remember the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I'm blanking on its name. Injustice. Gods Among Us.
Yes.
It looks kind of like that one, in that it looks kind of like if you took the CW one and you kind of armored it up a little bit, like they did in that game. That's what it kind of appears like to me. And now, obviously,
the emblem is what kind of gets me. I didn't think that would work without the medallion, the white circle behind it, but I actually kind of like it just being the lightning bolt.
It looks pretty cool because they did that kind of in the TV show, but he just had
it's going the wrong direction too, isn't it? I'm looking at my shirt because I'm wearing a Flash shirt. The lightning bolts change directions. I think.
Huh. I didn't even notice that.
It's more like the Power Rangers lightning bolt.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that, so good eye. This is obviously concept art. Everything could change, but if they get it anywhere close to that, as a team, they actually look pretty cool.
Look how fucking intimidating Aquaman is, dude.
Yeah, which is it a sentence 10 years ago, you would be laughed out of the podcast.
But the thing that I love the most about this concept art, I think, if anything, is it reminds me of the silhouetted opening to the Justice League cartoon.
Oh, that theme song is playing in my brain right now, and it's so good. Yeah,
is that kind of the feel you get from it a little bit?
Yeah, the most important thing is that they can all look awesome individually, but the whole movie falls apart if they don't look cool together.
Right.
Because like what was the first thing you saw in the Avengers trailer that stuck in your mind? That circle panorama where they show them all together and they all look great.
They love that shot. They hoard that shot out every trailer, every TV spot.
And I never complained because it was so fucking badass. So yeah,
and then they did it again at Age of Ultron at the was it like the splash panel or whatever? It's called?
But they were actually in action. They did like a comic splash page. Yeah. Very very cool. God knows if any of these movies will be good, but as far as the concept art, they look pretty cool so far. I like what I'm seeing.
Yes.
They also dropped at the CW special thing the very first footage of Wonder Woman, which I could not really care less for Wonder Woman outside of the cartoon. It's really been the only time I've ever really liked Wonder Woman. I've never in my life, and I am the resident comic specialist, I've never read a Wonder Woman comic.
I've always liked the idea of her, but like I said, the Justice League cartoon is the only time she was likable to me. She's
not as hard to write as Superman. Superman is the hardest.
Right.
But she's decently hard to write. Because, like, Batman, anyone can write Batman. It's not hard. I mean, especially with his rogues gallery, you can come up with a storyline pretty quickly. But Wonder Woman's is hard to write, and I really, really like the direction.
I've always appreciated, too, that she's not invincible. She's just really fucking hard to take down.
Yeah.
The whole purpose of her and the Amazonian warriors is for war, right?
Yeah.
And they live their entire life for war. They're the Spartans of the DC universe.
Gal Gadot totally sells it. She looks great. The costume looks great.
There was a lot of people that hated the idea of her being Wonder Woman when that news broke. If this doesn't put that to bed...
She looks fantastic in this movie.
I see what you did there.
What I wanted to talk about before we move on, though, what this really made me think of was the first Captain America film.
Yes.
They added a lot of grain to the cinematography to make it look like it's actually in the 30s. Chris Pine, they had a shot of him as Steve Trevor. He looks great. I mean, Chris Pine has never not been great in a movie. Right. He's fucking awesome. Also, Chris Pine is one of those dudes right now. He's not exactly like Leo, but he's getting up there. Like he can be very choosy about his roles, and he accepted this one when he very likely at some point could have been given a lead. So I think that shows they have a really, really good script going around, or he wouldn't have signed on to this picture. You know,
right? He's going to be a very pivotal character, I think.
Patty.
Speaking of Captain America, sorry, we got the footage running on mute. She just Captain America a guy in the stomach with her shield.
And it was also kind of the dumb thing too about people complaining about her is they were like, she's too skinny. Last time I checked, Bruce Lee, the best martial artist of all time, was 5'6", like a little dude.
He actually is the one that set out to change the stigma that you had to be tiny and not muscular to be fast, and you had to be big and bulky to be strong. He was both. He was incredibly fast and incredibly strong. He was not bulky and he was not weak. And you know what? If she is, depending on what direction they go with her background and everything, if she is basically created by the gods, she doesn't have to have physical strength.
It's like technically Superman doesn't have to be. They draw him like that.
One thing I love about the Amazing Spider-Man movies is the Tobey Maguire ones. He's kind of bulky for Spider-Man. The way they bulked up his muscles and stuff. They left him kind of lean, but he was really big. Spider-Man's really kind of scrawny looking.
And he's, for the most part, always a kid, too. So, he wouldn't be,
bodybuilder.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tobey Maguire looked like he was 55 in that movie, too.
And then, to take it back to DC, one of the issues also that I've always had with Superman is most of the time they show him with these gigantic fucking muscles. He gets his power from the fucking sun and the atmosphere. He doesn't get it from having big ass muscles.
Christopher Reeve was in good shape, but he wasn't huge.
Yeah.
We're not knocking Henry Cavill, because Henry Cavill is teetering on the edge, but it's not like he's Arnold, he's a reasonable, he's fucking huge, and he looks like he can handle himself even if he didn't have superpowers, but it's not over the top.
Right.
So he's fine.
But in some of the games and stuff, Superman
is huge. He's
his
like Hulk
head
size.
Is tiny. Yeah, he looks like the Hulk in a red cape.
But like with this one though, and the other comparison I make too is she's Amazonian, which is kind of like a Greek fighter. And the one I think, if you remember, Brad Pitt and Troy was playing Achilles, and he's lean, but he's not huge, and that's how they fought back then.
Yeah, her strength and everything, and speed and stamina and stuff is supposed to come from supernatural sources.
In the comic, she was crafted out of clay. That was her thing.
So,
which I'm curious about how they rework that, what they're going to do about that, because. Last time I checked, it's an island full of girls. Shit has to happen for them to reproduce, obviously. Yeah. So I'm curious how they go about approaching that subject. Maybe they just don't even mention it and just let it go.
Snoo. That's how it happens.
But I am incredibly nervous for Batman vs Superman. But for this and the solo Batfleck movies and Aquaman, I am really, really looking forward to all of the solo movies, which is awkward because we had such the opposite thing going with Avengers. For the first Avengers, it was once you saw the trailers, you started frothing at the mouth to get your hands on Avengers, and now I'm just I'm tiptoeing into the theater right now. But for this, I'm all over Wonder Woman.
Yeah, you wish you were all over Wonder Woman.
Dude. I'll wait for you, gal. The last thing they
Oh, can I say one more thing before we move on or anything? What the feeling did you get when you watched that footage? Did you get the feeling that she was going to be in the New 52 stuff, like Justice League War, where she was fish out of water and didn't understand culture and society and everything? Or did you get the feeling, which I got, that she's been living with us for quite a while? She understands culture. She understands how society works, and she's not fish out of water at all.
Now, they might do that for the first 10-15 minutes of the movie, depending on how they structure the plot.
But considering she doesn't age and stuff, and she's getting with us very early on.
What I'm hoping is you're right, and they have her for maybe 10 or 15 minutes be kind of fish out of water. But when she meets Steve Trevor and that group, who the other actors, the main actors, by that point she's acclimated.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping for. Now, let's say even if the whole movie is fish out of water, you can the first Thor is fish out of water. But I don't I still like the first Thor movie.
But they didn't lay it on you.
It wasn't over the top. And nothing.
They had charming moments with it. They didn't the entire time. Just not know what the fuck he's doing.
It wasn't shoved down your throat.
Yeah,
and that's what this appears like. This doesn't look like it's a shoehorned in fish out of water story. Which, it comes out 2017. I forget where they have Wonder Woman slated, but cannot wait for that movie. But they had. Is there anything else you wanted to add to Wonder Woman?
No, I just wanted to say that because I really appreciate that it did not look like she had no idea what the fuck she was doing.
And this was just slapped together early footage. We didn't even have an official trailer for that. It could be pretty damn awesome. So we're looking forward to that. Probably Comic-Con. We'll see something. Last year's Comic-Con, one of the big things they dropped was the very first Suicide Squad trailer, and today for the CW's yesterday for the CW special, they dropped an even better Suicide Squad trailer, much better one.
Margot.
And we have it playing in the background. But for the love of God, if you haven't watched this yet, pause this right now and then go YouTube the new Suicide Squad trailer, because it is money in the bank, dude.
It even sells Kyle Reese's abs for me.
I don't think we've had a podcast go by where one of us hasn't talked and made an in-joke every episode.
At least I own my own shit, by the way.
Yeah, definitely.
You have to give me that.
I will give you that. But for the love of God, because we're going to spoil the shit out of this amazing trailer, so watch it first. Everything about this trailer is money in the bank, dude. Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
So let's start it back from the top and let's kind of break it down as we go.
Right.
We were doing really great.
This is exactly what we did with the last trailer. By the way, we actually commentated the trailer.
So we're about to go now. First off, they started off with Bohemian Rhapsody, which is maybe my favorite Queen song, and Queen is my favorite band. So They were out from my own heart. Second of all, who doesn't love Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn? Oh
my God.
Another thing I noticed watching it too is if you look, she's actually reading a Harlequin romance novel.
Yeah,
a genius little touch. You're like, I'm probably the only person in the world who noticed it.
Probably
because I've watched this trailer so many fucking times. But they even make Killer Croc look kind of cool. Like they seemed like they went after the fact with the CGI and made it a little bit more like
a lot more menacing looking.
Like he doesn't look as much like a Power Rangers villain now. He looks a little bit more creepy. You've got Kyle Reese's abs himself as Captain Boomerang.
Which, when they said they were putting him in, I was really hoping that it was the smart-ass, snarky Captain Boomerang, and I wasn't sure if they were going for that, like the CW Captain Boomerang, with going with Jai Courtney. It could go either direction. But from this trailer, it's my Captain Boomerang, dude. Especially coming up when he has the beer. God.
The song choice was perfect. The biggest thing this has going for it is, you know what this reminds me of? Is the Hooked on a Feeling Guardians trailer.
Yes.
It was just like, everything's batshit crazy, and we're just out to have a good time, which is what this movie should be. Also, I've been more critical of some of the Joker stuff. The scene they show him in the tux was
that's very Captain Boomerang, and he's even got the ski, not ski mask, but the
stocking
thing,
but
on his head.
This just looks like raw balls to the wall entertainment, which I'm all over for Suicide Squad. But with the Joker though, they have two images that kind of sold them for me. The one in the tux where he just looks like you can't even tell it's Jared Leto anymore.
Yeah.
And the one where he's surrounded by 1,000 knives and guns on the fringes of the scene, on the frame. Really, really good Joker imagery.
Yeah.
Love, like Ron pointed out, everything has a neon glow.
Everything's got a neon disco look to it. I love it.
And
I wonder if that was Ayer's idea.
This has a lot of this. Okay, really quickly, I want to parallel this with Marvel stuff.
Okay.
Now we have been really hard on Age of Ultron, a lot of it jokingly, because it's not a bad movie, it was just a letdown. What this screams to me is, this is Age of Ultron, how the studio wouldn't leave it alone, and all of their attention was on that, while Guardians and Ant-Man, they were just like, fuck it, go have fun, we don't care.
Yeah.
And it made them better movies for it.
They realized that they were both kind of ridiculous concepts, and they took that and made that part of the charm.
They bought into their own ridiculous concepts, like Kingsman did. If we're going to segue out, it's like, if your concept can be as batshit insane as you want it to be, as long as you buy into your own concept and make it work. What this appears to me is Batman v Superman is like Age of Ultron. Like, the studio wouldn't leave them alone, and while they were so fixated on that, they were like, David Ayer, go make that Suicide Squad movie. It's got Will Smith attached. It'll make some money. And just go do whatever.
If you pay attention to this trailer, looking past everything we just talked about, there's a lot of fury in there, too.
Yeah, it's... I really think, I think this is going to be the way Guardians was. It's probably going to have a lot of flaws to it, but it's going to be so much fun. Who gives a shit? Then, how much of the 2.5-minute trailer is just action? It looks a lot more batshit with that than the first trailer did.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty insane, I think.
The other point I wanted to make, the more I see of this, the more I can't wait to see it. The more I see a Batman vs Superman, the less excited I get. So they're trending in opposite directions.
It even kind of sells me on Will Smith, which I was not that big of a fan of Will Smith being Deadshot originally.
It's kind of like amidst the chaos, he kind of falls in line with everyone else.
Yeah.
It's not as jarring that you're watching Will Smith. And Margot Robbie as Harley looks like she knocked it out of the park. Like the line where she talks about the voices.
Even people that hate on this movie all accept her as Harley, even if they don't like her costume. I have yet to hear anyone say they did not like her as Harley. And you know what's going to happen? She's going to set the precedent for Harley, and if they ever use someone that's not named Margot Robbie...
It's going to be a Hugh Jackman type situation.
Yeah, they're going to get completely crucified. Like, whoever the next son of a bitch is that gets Wolverine...
They shouldn't even bother.
Yeah,
They
just retire the character at that point.
This comes at like if I could, I would.
How proud is Paul Dini, by the way?
I mean, that must be amazing to watch.
Oh yeah,
One
of his friends named his daughter after the character, and then now we have Margot Robbie on screen.
And you know what?
Award-winning actress.
No one deserves that more than Paul Dini because he had to sit through and watch Heart of Ice get butchered into the fucking ground by Batman and Robin. So he deserved to have this performance for Harley Quinn.
So bad that it put Mr. Freeze back to the Z-list villain.
Yeah. It still makes me sad. But yeah, if I could, and Batman is my favorite fictional character, period, if I could, I would flip-flop BVS in this, and I would rather watch this first. I'm all over this movie now. Like I've been excited for it when we've talked about it before, but now I'm just like, I cannot wait to watch this. I just absolutely love everything
I don't know
about
what the
this trailer.
fuck they're fighting, dude.
Yeah, the thing I said was it looks kind of like Groot if he was mixed with the Xenomorph. Like
I know it's not, and anyone that is listening to this is probably going to crucify me in the comments for saying this, but there are some scenes that's kind of Swamp Thing-ish.
Yeah? Oh, dude, if
How
it was
awesome
Swamp,
would that be?
I hadn't thought about that, but if it is, I will just like cry in the theater.
The subway scene coming up here when he's like shredding the train in half, it's kind of Swamp Thing looking.
If they manage to secretly...
That would be their answer to Groot, dude.
If they manage to secretly have Swamp Thing as a villain in this, after BVS... Foobarred as much as they possibly could with the Doomsday thing.
All was forgiven. Yeah.
I can just, dude, I can't fucking wait. I cannot
By the way,
wait.
Did you notice in this scene right here, we're looking early on in the trailer when Harley Quinn's talking about the voices in her head. Did you notice that behind her, they had just unstrapped her from the Hannibal Lecter-like thing where they wheeled her out?
And what's also, like, the coolest thing about this, too, is at any point, anyone not named Jared Leto, Will Smith, or Margot Robbie can die at any moment, and that will make it so much more fun, because when's the last time we watched a superhero movie where any one of the leads could die at any moment? Like,
yeah, seriously.
Has that ever happened?
Sorry if it looks like I'm not paying attention. I'm looking for that scene I said that made me think of Swamp Thing. Oh, we might have already missed it.
Where, like, the Groot arm extends? Is that the one you were thinking of?
Yeah, there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It'd be ballsy.
It would be very ballsy. I'd be all over that. Yeah,
it
dude.
looks cool too.
Whatever it is,
it looks fucking cool.
That could also be really cool if they pulled the switcheroo and Swamp Thing. Those scenes are Swamp Thing, but he's not the villain. It turns out he's not the villain. I don't know.
Dude, give me this movie now.
I don't care. Swamp Thing or not, give me the fucking movie.
When we go, we're gonna watch both this and Batman and Superman opening weekends. I could wait till like Sunday for Batman vs Superman. We're watching this midnight. I want to fucking go see this now. But yeah, those were our thoughts on that trailer. I think our podcast is gonna end up being like 45 minutes with 20 minutes of Suicide Squad.
Oh no, we're not done yet.
Yeah. We got one more bit.
We're totally Terminator Genesis this bitch, though.
Dude, no kidding. We have one more bit of DC news to get to real quick, and then we are done with movies and TV. And
which I know, this is probably the character I know the least about, and I'm fucking excited for this.
Legends of Tomorrow, which we talked about earlier, has dropped another little... I mean, everything about Legends of Tomorrow has been amazing. Like, every little detail has been amazing. Like, how the fuck the Hawkman and Hawkgirl look as good as they do in that show?
Seriously.
Like, it just makes no sense.
It should not work.
And then, like, the other cool thing about it, I mean, we haven't even seen this yet, but, like, with their concept, they can do anything.
Yeah.
And one thing they're doing to show that is Jonah Hex will be
yes.
appearing in Legends of Tomorrow, which is fucking... Like, Jonah Hex...
Perfect.
...is a great character. And with, you know, like, they can time travel. So, like, they're going to have a fucking Western episode of Legends of Tomorrow. That's
Why
fucking
not?
amazing. That's amazing. It's like, it was so genius. the way that they pitched it, because it's what it's going to be. It's going to be Doctor Who meets Justice League.
Yeah.
Which is fucking incredible, dude. And I cannot wait. And the thing that I am going to get Ron to watch pretty soon, that I'm going to also plug, if you haven't watched it yet, watch the DC Showcase animated Jonah Hex film. Thomas Jane voiced Jonah Hex. Michael Rooker was also one of the other characters in it.
Really?
The voices. I think it was on... Oh, it was a Superman versus Shazam.
Yes.
I think that was like, it wasn't a full feature. It was like 45 minutes, and then the second half of the DVD is all these short films. Green Arrow was one of them too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is ironic because I just realized Neil McDonough.
Spectre was in that too, right?
Spectre was one of them.
Yeah. No, I saw that on Netflix. They were all on there.
Oh, they were.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still is, because a few months ago I went and watched it and I had to Amazon stream it, but it might be back.
Well, no. I mean, it wasn't just the Superman versus Shazam. It had all the shorts.
So it was that one. Okay.
Yeah. So I probably did see that then. I just don't remember it.
Yeah, we'll watch it again though, because all the shorts were really cool. And when I was bringing it up too, it's ironic. Neil McDonough, I think, pretty sure played Green Arrow, which is ironic because he's now Damien Dark in Green Arrow. Right. Is ironic. Yeah, all those
spoilers, Jeff.
This
spoilers
Arrow
for the shit show on CW.
Yeah, I really, really like that little short Jonah Hex film they made, so definitely go check that out, especially in advance of this. This is happening in season 1, but I think it's one of the later ones. I think they're running, I think I said earlier, 16 or 17 episodes for season 1, so yeah. At some point, we'll get Jonah Hex. And, like, dude, if they're doing Jonah Hex, fucking anyone's up for grabs.
Oh, God, dude.
So
they can do
cool.
anything, literally any time, whatever they want to do.
And obviously, you and I are just Doctor Who diehards. Like, that is just making us froth at the mouth. Because...
And what I'm hoping is that... eventually, since we're getting Jonah Hex on a TV screen and it's CW, and westerns being easy to produce and cheap to make, we could get something spun off of that. Even
if it was like during,
because that would totally work on TV.
What would also be really cool too is if they started doing, you know how Agent Carter is for S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah.
When Legends comes back, and we were talking about earlier, it's probably going to have a full season total. How cool would it be if each season of Legends, they did one character as like a 6-episode anthology?
Yeah.
Constantine. How cool would a 6-episode miniseries of Constantine be? Jonah Hex would be cool. If they didn't end up using him for one of the movies, Swamp Thing would be really cool. Like, dude, like, they can actually now, with the CW stuff, they can go and, like, find all of their D and F-list characters and make something cool out of them, which is what they've been doing nonstop with the Flash.
I was just saying, and Flash has proved that you can make that work.
Yeah, and
Rainbow Raider was a fucking cool villain.
Yeah.
When did you ever think you'd say Rainbow Raider was a cool villain?
Can't freaking Legends of Tomorrow is tomorrow, and I'm so excited, dude. I'm so fucking excited. Something else Ron and I are frothing at the mouth for.
Oh my god!
Is we recently you had it for Christmas, right? Transformers Devastation.
Yes,
and we did Let's Plays of it.
We did Let's Plays of it when it first came out, and then I got it for Christmas and played the fuck out of it.
You did it in like 2 sittings, and I did the whole thing like Rain Man style in like 4.5 hours. It was ridiculous. I don't know how I managed to do that.
You Capra Demoned half the boss fights, I think.
Yeah. So Platinum Games did Transformers Devastation. Their next game is going to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles title.
Yes.
They just today, was it yesterday? It was a couple days ago, I think. Actually, I think it was said like the 18th or something in the article you sent me. You actually found this one, so I think it was from a few days back.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly when it was. I was just kind of freaking out at the screenshots I saw.
Yeah. I think there was 4 or 5 screenshots.
There's 4 or 5 screenshots. It was only like a day or two old, the article, I think.
Okay.
But I don't know how I missed it. That was my thing. Anytime I'm bored, I'm looking at all of our news sources, and I don't know how I fucking missed it.
Yeah, they had one really cool little touch I liked was, I don't know if you've ever seen the images of the original comic, but their eyes were a little more like hollow.
Yeah. And
they had just kind of like that jet white kind of Batman look to them because it was a comic book.
Is that the opposite of a shark's eye, basically?
Yeah. They actually made it look kind of retro to their original 80s comic with their eyes. I like that touch. It looks kind of like cell shaded like the Transformers one, but it's not to that degree.
Right.
Like they kind of like took the engine but removed part of the the glossy Transformers look to it.
Instead of cartoon turtles, it looked more like the turtles on the page. It looked more like you're controlling the comic book page, more or less the way they did it. Because they, like you said, they changed the coloring and changed some of the shading and stuff, so it's not quite like Transformers was.
Yeah.
But dude, even if this is Transformers Devastation with a turtle skin on it, I'm all over this fucking game.
Yeah, because it was fucking fun as hell.
Yeah.
Like, the combat system was really, really fun. And like, dude, if they have a little stealth mechanic because they're fucking ninjas, like that would be really cool.
Dude, Batman's Predator map type thing.
I cannot freaking wait, dude. I don't think we have any details as far as when this is coming out, but
it's technically not even announced yet. These screenshots were leaked.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Technically speaking, this game doesn't officially exist.
I'm sure that person put as people in the gaming industry tend to do. I'm sure they put on their LinkedIn account, "I'm the guy who leaked the TMNT shit," and he's immediately fucking fired.
Yeah.
Seriously, everyone in the gaming industry, delete your LinkedIn account for the love of God. So, Platinum, I love you. I don't even like Transformers, and I fucking loved that game. And like that was
when we played it for our Let's Play, one of the first things you said was, "I'm fucking buying this." And you don't even like Transformers.
So that was a part of your childhood. Now this is a part of mine too. What they're doing, because I fucking loved the Ninja Turtles as a little kid.
So now you get how I felt with Transformers.
So I cannot be. Because
dude, I mean, seeing those first screenshots. What did that do for you? When I saw those screenshots of Transformers for the first time,
oh, it was so great.
It was like my jaw hit the floor. I mean, did that have any effect on you like this?
Yeah,
when you saw the turtles?
It looked great, and those guys.
Because here's the thing, my parents' attic are full of three things: Power Rangers toys, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toys, and fucking Transformers.
See, that's very similar to mine, except for replace Transformers with everything having to do with Batman the Animated Series. Okay. I was heavily into Turtles, Power Rangers, and Batman. That was my.
By the way, we're getting
trio.
that fucking Batmobile, 6-inch.
Yeah,
Batmobile.
we are. Yeah, especially I want that thing so bad. The bat signal lights up, Ron.
The sky's the limit, Jeff. The bat signal lights up.
Yeah, that's one reason we haven't cured cancer is because we have a bat signal that lights up. I don't give a fuck. I'll take it. But yeah, Ron, look at that shit. It's roughly 47 minutes.
And counting.
And we are, I'm just kidding. Now, since we're actually on time, what do you want to talk about for 30 minutes so we can actually do our normal run time? But yeah, we are going to lightning round. High five.
Yes.
Successful lightning round. A lot of Suicide Squad ball licking. If you manage to sit through me and Ron just gargling the nutsack of Suicide Squad for as long as we did.
I have no regrets.
I have no regrets either.
I would do it again.
I would also do it again. No shame at all. If you, for whatever reason, think we are entertaining to listen to, our podcast pops up every Wednesday or Thursday. All you have to do is like and subscribe. You will get all of our content, which also includes all of our Let's Plays. We are getting dangerously close to wrapping up Dark Souls, and we'll be starting our second ever sequential on the channel.
There's always New Game Plus.
Yeah, let's do it all again. And what do we do now, guys? We
play the game.
So all you have to do is like and subscribe, and you get all of our content. I think we end up doing we do one podcast a week, and usually like one or two Let's Plays end up getting put up.
I try to put up 2 Let's Plays.
Okay.
And then the weekly podcast.
And if you also want to get more of our updates, follow us on Facebook.com/TWBE Podcast. Also Twitter @TWBE Podcast.
You enunciated Twitter really well.
I did?
Yeah. Twitter.
I'm a prop agent. I'm watching too much Kingsman. All right, guys. With that, we're going to watch Kingsman again.
Fuck yes.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Ron.
Oh, I want to watch the church scene so bad. The church scene, Ron.
Yeah,
the church scene.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We're going to go watch fucking Kingsman.
Yeah.